It's no secret that Dragon Dogma 2 has a bit of a difficulty problem. While encounters can be pretty impactful and decently difficult at the early levels, once you reach past level 25 on normal playthroughs with all your pawns, things get a little bit easier. And by a little, I mean a lot. And to prove a point, we're going to do something that I haven't seen anyone else do yet for this game. You read the title, you saw the thumbnail. We are going to beat Dragon Dogma 2 without any items. Sort of. If you want to be technical about it, I'll save you some time and tell you that the answer is no. You actually can't beat Dragon Dogma 2 without items, but that's no fun and I wanted a challenge, so we're introducing some exceptions. The main exception is that I am allowed to use quest items, meaning only items that are used to complete quests. I can only use the items to complete the quest, meaning that if I find a healing item in the middle of a quest, I can't use it to then heal in a battle. I can only turn it in to complete a quest. Make sense? Alright, cool. So the point of the run is that I don't want any weapons, no equipment at all, no armor, no curatives, and nothing that can boost my stats. The only thing I'll have with me are my fists, my feet, augments, and of course money. And of course I also won't be using any pawns because I do not need them picking up any items in the overworld for any doubt in the playthrough. But if I have to meet some friends along the way, that is allowed. So without further ado, let's break out of prison, meet up with Rook, and strip down to my birthday suit and get this playthrough started. Our first encounter is the Medusa, who gives me that look my wife likes to give me with equal results. Time to face off, but first I must drop my weapons as part of the run. That's better. We may be without a sword, but we're not without weapons in this run. Some well-placed knees and a lot of teamwork from the pawns in the ruin camp are enough to send the Medusa running for the hills. Speaking of which... that was a nice nap. By the way, my character is some version of Giga Chad I found sliders for in case you missed the thumbnail. Can't think of a better character for a no items run, to be honest. As we follow Justin to the encampment, I encounter the hardest part of this challenge. You might think that playing optimally enough to not have to use equipment or curatives would be the brunt of the run, but oh no. It's the constant temptation to loot chests and gather items that's the worst for me by far. Got a shadow box for the ladies before it's time to deal with my first goblin encounter. Despite their small size, goblins are actually pretty tough at level 1, so it's going to take some experimenting to figure out the best strategy here. Immediately I determined that staggering and then throwing the goblins would probably be best. Good for knockdowns and executions on the follow-up. As long as I don't get hit. Alright, that is my first group of enemies defeated. Turns out that similar to the Grimoire run, throwing items and smaller enemies are going to be my bread and butter this playthrough too. When I tell you these goblins have hops, gotta be careful of those chain hits or I'm toast. That was close. And there's a level up. We meet up with the Pawn Legion at the encampment, create our pawn, and take him for a swim. Forever. The power of Giga Chad is so immense at this point that the water textures have literally diverted within this rectangular tile. A good omen, hopefully. We take our free rest at the inn before heading out to do some side quests. By the way, inns, our houses, and story-related stops are going to be our only way to recover our health, so we're going to be using them quite a lot throughout this playthrough, especially early on, which is why I've allowed the use of gold. As I mentioned before in the rules, quests are the only time I'm allowed to gather items, and it's only to complete the quests. I can't heal using Guinvarus just because it's a quest item, for example. I'm not trying to cheese the run. Items as a general concept are unavoidable as part of story quests, so I understand if this ruins the run for you. However, that's no fun. So I'm kind of going to go forward as best I can without using items outside of only turning them in for quests. If you don't like that, I'm doing side quests for experience. Just pretend I hunted down goblins for 10 to 20 more hours or whatever. The result's going to be the same. We turn in the provisions quest and head out to save Ricardo. Just gotta get past these goblins. That's not a good look. Yeah, that's a really bad look, in fact. New plan, just gonna run past them this time. Harpies turn out to be quite the menace this early in the run, so we're gonna have to resort to some desperate measures. In my haste, I pick up the archer pawn that was with us and start running. It's not until I'm almost out of stamina that I realize my error, and now I have to make the walk of shame back to the swarm of harpies to get a Ricardo, which does not go well. This is what we call foreshadowing. Alright, we got a Ricardo this time, but I run out of stamina right as the goblins decide to chime in. And these harpies have some crazy tracking. Almost back to safety. Oh, come on, dude. Just charging in with half health. Ah, Acardo's pathing is perfect this time. Yes, we finally got him to trigger the end dialogue.
We could use someone with your experience.
Oh, the irony. Speak of the devil. By the way, this is the sad fate of all my quest rewards. Left to rot on the floor. Time to hit the hay before our long journey. Alright, so with the journey ahead of us, let's talk about the game plan for this run. I basically want to maximize my strength and defenses, so that's going to require me to level up as either a fighter or a warrior as much as possible. Strength is our only source of damage really, as it governs the physical side of things, so it is very important. And as the warrior vocation gives a massive boost to knockdown resistance innately, I'll be looking to end as that vocation by endgame. For augments, I'm going to need metal from fighter and apotropeism for mage from the defenses, fur for the strength boost, vigor for the climbing stamina drain buff, and gratification which will help with my sustain while I'm out in the overworld. All of these are from thief, and verve is going to be rank 9, which will take a while. And lastly, vitality from warrior for the little health boost. From what I'm looking to do, I don't really need anything else, just going to take a bit of dedication to get what I need there. As I arrive in Melv, I'm hit with some lovely PTSD, and much like my real life problems, I elect to run away. It's also not to spoil the run with my forced equipment and all that. Ah, extra crispy, just like I love my Arisen. After awakening to an angel, I
am of the Border Watch. Someone with Arisen-like abilities came to this village.
Always ruining the fun.
Take care.
We quickly help Flora out before meeting up with Leonard and heading out with Ian to go save Norbert. If the fights before were anything to go by, and if my damage on this pig tells you anything, I'm expecting this to be a pretty decent challenge. Come here, you. Ah, there's Norbert getting properly mauled by wolves, and we're next. Damn, there's freaking 5 of them, what the hell? Okay, so I definitely want to separate them one by one and nail a heavy attack to start throwing them. Okay, what the hell are these moves? Sheesh, that's a lot of damage. Just gonna hop up here. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Don't mind me, just going on a road trip. Time to change up the approach. Yes, we got one coming. Yes, he's caught on a rock. Let's go. Just gotta do that 4 more times. Gonna take this wolf for some throwing. You know, I wasn't exactly a pitcher in baseball. Oh no. Well, that'll do it. Maybe some jump attacks. I'm gonna be here forever, aren't I? Okay, so coming back down the hill, we have the goblins we neutralized at the beginning here. I love the conveniently placed vegetation in these parts. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm editing that part out. Alright, one wolf down, and I literally can't take any more damage now. I'm taking you with me. Fly! Still got the moves. Alright, that's the end of that dream. Yep. Oh, we got harpies now? Please leave me alone. My hero, you saved me. Jesus Christ, I saw him start to lunge and barely lived. What the hell? Oh my god, we're done. We're finally done. I spent 30 minutes on this one quest. Thanks for the cape, man, but I cannot keep it. Into the dirt it goes. The content compels us. And that's really effed up, man. It's a homespun cloak. He probably made it himself, and I just have to dump it on the ground. It's pretty cold. Damn, Leonard, just let me sleep. Alright, is that enough? Cool. Sleep. Alright, time to head out. Believe me, I wouldn't want anything less than an army defending me on the way to the capital. Well, you know, they're mostly alright. Somehow I'm already at half health, so gotta be careful here. Damn, the behind the back strike gets me every time. That's better. Time for a bit of a challenge. You know, this would be a lot more interesting if Capcom didn't spoil this part in their trailer. Damn, I'm good at this game. Come here, big boy. Big damage. That's probably the worst Lacey Peon impression I could have done. I'm leaving it in. Note to self, don't stand directly in front of a Cyclops during a long animation. Ooh, right in the knees. After pretending I helped during the Goblin ambush, we'd ride the ox cart to Vernworth, meet up with Brant, discuss a little political intrigue, and settle in for the massive performance hit. We lie for our clearly visible prince, meet Klaus for vocation frustration, and talk to Mildred for our free house for a week. This bed is going to be our best friend for the majority of the playthrough as it lets us heal our health to full without spending money. Not that I'm really worried about spending money because I can't buy curatives or weapons or armor or anything that you normally would, but yeah, there you go. And here's the thing, I'm not going to edit in every single side quest I do, so you can pretty much assume that I do all the easy ones, and if they require items to complete, that's the only time that I allow for items to be used. I'm using that made up category for quest items so I can actually play the game, you know. We meet up with Brant at the tavern to get our 1,000,001 story quests.
What say you? What say you? What say you?
Sheesh, okay, I'll do the quests. Damn.
Have you proof that you are Arisen?
Look right in front of you, you blind fuck. Alright, found the library. Don't mind me, just an unclothed man running through the castle unsupervised. And there's the note we need, the main reason we have the quest item exception, among others. Sven, can we not do this while I'm running a no clothing run? People might get the wrong idea. No allegations today, Twitter. Waldar, go read a book or something. And there's those 2 quests complete. Let's see if they'll let me in the masquerade without clothes or a mask. Looks like that's a yes. Alright, well that was easy. Well, not every day I run into a pretty lady with no clothes on. I guess I'm not the only one. Well, that's enough peeping for today. You know, there's something to be said about a city that lets a crazed, unclothed man run through the streets in its main seat of power. Maybe this world really is a farce.
Well, well.
A simple hello would have sufficed. We take down our stalker the next day. Well, something like that. That's better. That'll make for an easy entry into Batal later. And the day after that, we make our way to Melv, where we meet our old friend, the Lesser Dragon. We definitely do not need to be facing this guy later on in the game, where I have to work through the gauntlet that is Western Batal. So I'm finally going to be doing what you guys in the comments have been begging me to do since my first challenge run for Dragon Dogma 2. While I'm here, I'm definitely picking up the Worm's Life crystals that drop from good old Greg Jr. here. We'll use this directly in a later story quest, so I'm allowing it here to take these crystals, and I really don't want to deal with Western Batal either. We head back and sneak into Allard's chambers, stealing his letter, running into this very peckish little wench here, and turn in our homework to Brant yet again. Now it's finally time we leave the nest for the nameless village. Nothing a little rock toss can't fix. I present to you the strategy of chain grabbing, the most powerful technique in all of Vermund. Alright, that's that part of monster culling done. Just gonna slip past the scary angry minotaur. Can't believe that just worked. There's the nameless village. Time for sleepy sleep. Up the hill, through the journo diff. There's the bill of arrest. You know, not being able to fast travel really helps you appreciate the environment that the team put together for the game. It also really helps you hate harpies even more. And by the way, that's another thing. Since I can't use items, I can't use fairy stones. It's either travel on foot or take an ox cart. So how lovely is that? There you go, Brant. A couple of side quests later, it's time to finally fetch the Archistaff and Greatsword from Trevo Mine, as well as round out that portion of monster culling. I'm purposely delaying the travel to Batal so I can complete as many side quests as possible to get as much free XP as possible. If you want to get technical, I could just grind all my XP, but that would make the making of this video twice as long, and the quest item exception is in place. So yeah, getting close to Trevo Mine, and luckily I have found a volunteer for protection. Come on, don't be shy, get in there. Just going to avoid as much of this as possible. Well, that's not good. Not even what I was looking for. Yeah, this trip is not going to last much longer. Maybe the Pathfinder Almighty will allow me to sneak by. Maybe not. Round 2. Holy crap, that actually worked. If I can run all the way to Vernworth and back, we'll have secured the Greatsword and we can heal up in our house to full health. Well, out of stamina. Gotta work a little smarter. Alright, I actually made it back this time. And there's the warrior vocation unlocked, the only advanced vocation we actually need. It turns out the only thing you need to do to increase your muscle mass, your gains, and your knockdown resistance is just a quick chat with a professional. Who knew that personal training was so easy? I mean, just look at those numbers. You know, it really makes you wonder how much time actually matters in this farce of a world, because I can go into the cave that needs monster culling, run back to the capital, sleep, run back to the cave the next day, then do all the slaying that needs doing. And as proven in my Grimoire run, which you should definitely watch by the way, Greg or the Dragon will literally wait over 4.5 years for you to do whatever you need before deciding to show up. So the world really is your oyster. Alright, time to head back. There's the Archistaff. Not that I need the Sorcerer vocation, but the XP is nice. Since we really need to make some progress towards these augments, it's time to change to the Mage vocation so I can get that sweet magic damage negation, which, if you know anything about the dragon fight, it's going to be very needed, especially without armor. So we're going to be sacrificing some damage early for some big gains later. Delayed gratification, or so they say. Very delayed gratification, it turns out. I don't know what it is about griffins, but this entire playthrough, they just ignore my damage, no matter what part of their body I hit. Not gonna stick around for that. Yay, another Oxcart army! Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever find happiness. My luck has returned! The fabled reappearing Oxcart. Take me to Melv. Ah, a little corrupted petty squabble it seems.
I've yet to repay you for aught you've done for me.
Well, if you say so.
Tis time we slept.
Damn, she coming on. And she didn't even make me breakfast the next morning.
Where is Ulrika?
I'm wondering the same damn thing. Of course we know where Ulrika is, hanging out in Harp Village and all, but before we go, let's go ahead and swap to the Thief vocation for all the beautiful augments it offers. As mentioned before, we'll get gratification for the health sustain at rank 4, vigor for the climbing stamina drain buff at rank 8, and verve for the strength boost at rank 9, which will take a while to get to. So while the difficulty will be a bit higher throughout the majority of these next few sections, the payoff at the end is well worth it considering how low my stats will be in general. After a couple more side quests, it's time for us to head to Harp Village to visit Ulrika and finish off the monster culling quest. I purposely ordered the quests this way to reduce my amount of trips to Harv because while it does have a port crystal, again, fairy stones are indeed items, so we can't fast travel. So we gotta get there on foot. Ah, Castardus 2 is beautiful this time of year. All outcast weather and whatnot. We say hello to this Dragon Forged, or previous Arisen, or what have you. I don't know. Les calls him a Dragon Forged. I didn't make it up. Maybe there's some lore there someone could dig up. Down the hatch.
I don't want to fall.
And that takes care of that.
I cannot seem to walk of my own accord just now.
Don't worry, I got you. On second thought, maybe not. Every man for himself. Job's done. Well, almost. Harder than it looks. Take two. Somehow only got hit once the second time. So Erika's not here just yet, so I guess I'll tell Brant about the monster culling.
You've done a fine job.
Oh, thanks, bud. So I just wanted to show you all this for shits and giggles. There's a side quest at Gracious Hand Church in the Vernworth slums that requires miasmite, which only drops from phantoms like these at night. As you can see, I'm very ill-suited for the task, to say the least. I did get all of them, though. Time for the checkpoint rest town.
Oi, you there! You've just arrived in town, haven't you?
Oh boy, we gotta go save this guy's grandson. Can't believe I'm doing this on this playthrough of all times. No, but seriously. No time for this either. Okay, so the plan is to take what little help we have here in the form of this pawn and anyone else who decides to drop in. So we're gonna take this fighter here and toss him up to the mountainside. And by the way, I found out much later that there's actually a straight shot underneath the rocks to the other side. Not the last inefficient decision I'll make in this run, I'm sure. Ah, crap. Damn, he moves like they do. There we go. With this wolf as my lifeline, I hereby cast thee out. Shit. Now, the second time, it dawned on me. I'm one hit. What if I just take Raj and run? Pretty simple, right? Well, not exactly. For you see, you can take the kid away from the quest, but you can't take the quest away from the kid. Okay, finally got away, but wolves are on my tail. Save me! This should have been my clue, but I did not realize the severity of my error even when Raj would not initiate the quest dialogue. As I try to get around the harpies ahead, I accidentally drop Raj, and he is out for blood, let me tell you. Turns out if you drop him too many times, this ungrateful little shit will come for your head. And let's just say my rescue attempt through the Saurian cave did not go well either. Not even the Oxguard army could save me. Raj won't even let me carry him out of harm's way. Well, I can't do this quest with my current health. If he expires, he expires. Well, would you look at that? He's still here. Still not a great time, though. We're gonna need some professional help.
You looking for a fight?
And that's the last of them. Raj, I've never been so happy to hear those words. Here's your stupid flower-picking grandson. I am never being nice again. And by the way, next time someone tells you they didn't rescue Raj, just show them this video and show them that it's possible to save him literally without anything, and watch as they feel bad about themselves. And I hope they do. We go ahead and head back to Har Village to tenderize the meat, and then meet up with Ulrika. Aw, look who's blushy. We go ahead and supply Leonard with pointy sticks and Melv, exercise a bit of peaceful protesting, and report back to Harv to find that we have even more scaly boys to clear out. Well, that takes care of that. She really can't resist lizard slayers. Later we meet up with Glyndor to work on the elf quests, which unfortunately you can't complete by throwing things at the target, so we whip out our bow only for the purposes of completing this quest, of course. Meanwhile, Glyndor is marveling at the fact that in human cultures we actually care about arrows hitting our targets. He's a weird one. We go on to save his sister Darren, take a lovely selfie, and immediately leave because I can't be bothered. I will not be aiding the Arborheart. With a good amount of side quests completed, it's time to talk to Brant and attend the coronation.
Master! Pray, leave this place! My body, it refuses to obey me!
Now to make our way to Batal. Now, I can't be bothered to travel through Batal and all the hordes of monsters that I'm clearly not ready for. So, fun fact, you can get arrested by the Batali guards at the checkpoint and awaken here in the back Batal jail. How convenient. Just gotta pay the exorbitant travel fee, which is half of my total gold. Pretty fair trade for this run if you ask me. And we are out, ready to live as a law-abiding citizen once again after bribing my way out of crime. They even let me peruse through the palace. So remember kids, if you have money, laws don't matter, and travel is easy. How realistic. Thanks, Itsuno. We meet up with Manella to progress the main story, meet up with Joaquin Phoenix to fetch some family jewels, catch up on retcons with the Dragon Forged, steal his crystals, and man, it has been a long day. Guess it's time to sleep at the—
Boy, what's your problem?
Ah, it's this jerk-off. Hey look guys, it's Ragnar. He's that famous sellsword that nobody knows about. So these cockroaches want to play rough, huh? Yeah, they're playing rough.
Enough.
Damn, I got destroyed.
You fought well, stranger.
Bro, what were you watching? Dishonest friends are no friends at all, kids. Time to meet an old lady. So, lore question here once again. She calls the old man at Hard Village a Dragon Forged, and if we die in the Unmoored World, we end up in the same position as the crazy old man. So, does dying in the Unmoored World make us a Dragon Forged? And what does Dragon Forged even mean? Are we forged by the dragon? Is our fight with the dragon and the defiance of this world a means to make us guides for future Arisen? Interesting stuff. We make our way back to Vernworth to find that a Minotaur is ransacking the palace. And unfortunately, our old friend didn't make it. He was the only casualty too. Why must the good die so young? His sacrifice will not be in vain. The Chief Furry over here grants us his spirit sword, so we bring it back to Joaquin along with our Worm's Life crystals to initiate the final sequences. Unfortunately, despite my honest efforts over the course of this fight, my damage wasn't enough to slay the Gigantus, leaving me with no bonus XP, which really sucks because despite the time that I've put into side quests and defeating enemies, I'm still very short on both experience and vocation ranks. There's really only one way to rectify this, and it's probably not this way. Experience and discipline points are guaranteed from defeating monsters, but Batal is just a little too tough for me right now. Funnily enough, the best ratio of discipline points to experience is found the lower level of monster you defeat. For example, defeating a goblin will reward you 62 experience with 23 discipline, while the knacker we just smashed over in Batal gives us 468 experience but only 66 discipline. We'll get much more XP with the knacker, but not too much more discipline point. And let me tell you, defeating 3 goblins is way easier than defeating 1 knacker, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to travel to Melve, close to the encampment in the starting area, and we're just going to go in a circle defeating goblins, resting at the encampment inn every so often when we get low, which will allow for reliable heals and respawns for the goblins. Kind of like hunting in real life. Let's get started. With Thief training complete, it's time to swap to Warrior to complete our augment build. And yeah, our damage is feeling really good right now. And the 400 knockdown resistance is nice too. Time for a little test. Not too shabby. With all the levels we need at level 30 and all the augments we want, it's time to head up to the tower and face Ragnar. Now here's a little quiz. How are we going to beat Ragnar today? Will we A, stun lock him and throw him off the side, B, kite the fight and refuse to defeat him, or C, run away? If you answered C, congratulations! Ragnar will insult us for running away and he'll even leave the door unlocked. What a nice guy.
Let not the Arisen approach.
Similar scenario here with the false sovereign fight. Will we A, kite around and beat enemies one-on-one, B, chain throw enemies into each other, or C, run away? If you answered C, congratulations! I did that on my first try, if you can believe it. It's funny, the two things that I thought would be the hardest part of the challenge ended up having the easiest solutions. Definitely not something I expected. Time to break every bone in my body and face Greg the Dragon. By the way, I would highly recommend you watch the previous run I've done for Dragon Dogma 2 being the Grimoire run, because I actually learned a lot about the intricacies of the dragon fight, and believe me, they will come in very handy here. To summarize this fight, Greg really only has 2 moves I need to be aware of. One of them is this fireball attack, which can spawn a fireball directly where you are on the battlefield, including his head, so we'll need to run along his neck to avoid it, and we'll make sure to re-grab the neck if our character starts getting off balance to avoid fall damage. Once we've whittled his health down enough, he'll take flight. He'll drop us off at this ballista, which we carefully aim. Not carefully enough, I guess. There we go. Big damage for free every time, except for this time. So this is the other move we have to watch out for. If we're stuck on Greg's head, these fireballs will absolutely demolish us along with potential fall damage, so it's best to be on the ground and avoid them by running. The only catch being that Greg makes it really difficult to get off his head once he initiates this move, so it's almost guaranteed that I'll take damage if I stay on his head for too long in the second phase. Ouchies. But just like in the previous run, Greg will never do the same move twice, and because this is a bit of a bigger trump card, he'll only do it once every 3 or 4 moves or so, which is very convenient knowledge for us in this run. Also, unlike my previous run, I am not resource dependent, meaning I can kick Greg as many times as I want as long as I keep my health intact. Obviously, easier said than done. Then, on my 4th attempt, we managed to finally break through.
Trained well, Arisen. Now thou wilt witness my true strength. Arisen.
And down he goes, almost a no-hit dragon fight. And of course, we're about that struggle, so into the unmoored world we go. Just need to retrieve our pawn, talk to the furry king, and sleep our days away. Bye everyone. No purgeners this run, don't even ask. And time to finish up. And that's Dragon's Dogma 2 without any items. Kinda. Technically, you can't beat Dragon's Dogma 2 with 0 items because look at the final cutscene. You need quest items. Duh. But if you put the exception for quest items in there, then yeah, I think I've proven well enough. You can beat Dragon's Dogma 2 without items, equipment, curatives, pawns, a vocation even, aside from augments and stats. Really, I think this is the best argument as to why Dragon's Dogma 2 should get some kind of difficulty update in the future, because if I, of all people, can beat this game with all these restrictions, then I'm sure it's even easier for a lot of people. That being said, I definitely would not recommend playing the game this way. I only did this run because I didn't see that anyone else had done this yet, and let's just say it can get a bit tedious to say the least. For those of you Dragon's Dogma 2 players that are still playing and interested, I really do hope that it gets a really good DLC in the future. I've personally been playing other games, which is why this video has taken so long to make, other than my time just being more and more occupied, but excuses aside, thank you all for watching. Here are my stats for the end of the run, and I hope I see you all again real soon.